How does this sequel fare? Let's find out. Hello Fanatics, I'm Dylan Phillips and this is the Film Fanatic Review bringing you Sicario Day of the Soldado, starring Josh Brolin, Benicio del Toro, and Isabela Moner. First, we'll tell you what the movie is about, and our initial thoughts. Then we'll move on to our spoiler-free likes and dislikes. We'll finish up with some spoiler-heavy thoughts on this film, and our final word. Sicario Day of the Soldado follows the story of federal agent Matt Graver, who reteams with Alejandro to deal with the escalating drug war on the US-Mexican border, as cartels begin trafficking terrorists across the border. Overall, this film was alright. It isn't terrible by any means, but with so many of the key members of the original crew leaving, what could you expect? For what I liked about this film, let's start off with the elephant in the room, whether or not this film is able to deliver with its new team. For the most part, this sequel is able to replicate the original film's iconic style and tone. Stefano Sollima does a great job bringing his Italian mafiosa background to this franchise, helping to supplement the departure of Denis Villeneuve by creating an equally grounded and thrilling experience. Dariusz Wolski takes over cinematography duties from the legendary Roger Deakins and is able to mimic the immersive atmosphere of this desolate landscape. And finally, the new composer is able to take the iconic melodic themes of Jóhann Jóhannsson's score and bring them to life with a few of their own original twists. These aspects aren't improvements on the original by any means, but it copies them enough to feel like it's the same filmmaking team behind the camera. This is further helped by the lead performances. Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro return as two grizzled veterans of the drug war that will do anything to end it, even if it means inciting more violence along the way. Both actors do great in their roles, bringing the same sarcastic charm and brutality to this story. The other standout is Isabela Moner as the drug cartel leader's daughter. She does an outstanding job portraying a grounded and strong character. The film is filled with a ton of action sequences that bring the same gritty tone and immersive atmosphere that make you really feel like you're part of this story. And the story's first half plays off as a very engaging and thrilling Black Ops mission regarding the drug war. However, while the action sequences do deliver the same style, there's no shock and awe moments similar to the original film, which can be a little bit unsatisfying for some viewers. There's also one teenage character in one of the subplots of this film, and they come across as bland, unempathetic, and unredeeming, so that storyline just becomes a wash to me. And that brings us to the biggest issue, the story. While the first half of the film and its main story regarding the Black Ops mission is thrilling to watch, it falls flat on its face when it starts to focus on the less interesting subplots it tries to throw in. The stories that they try to intertwine with the main narrative are bland, forgettable, and take us away from the two characters the audience came for. This culminates into an unsatisfying ending that feels overly romanticized, taking away from the grounded feel of this film franchise. And the length of this film is a little bit long, as the second half tries to drag all of these storylines together. And that's where I'll end our spoiler-free thoughts on this film. If you want to hear our final word or rating of this film, pause now and click the link in the description, because now it's time for spoilers. First off, I'm not a huge fan of the film's title. Why would you call it Sicario and use a Spanish word in the title, but then add Day of the into the title? On top of that, the fact that it's Day of the Soldado, which is both English and Spanish, is very confusing. Either make the subtitle of this story all English or all Spanish. One or the other, not both. And a part of the film that I wasn't too keen on was the fact that after Alejandro gets shot in the face, a year later he miraculously has no scars on his person. And I was a bit confused by that, because you think that someone that got a bullet through both their cheeks would have some form of scar there. And especially with the fact that before that we had learned that his daughter was deaf, so he learned sign language, so it would have been a great way to push him into being a silent assassin that uses sign language to communicate. It was already there in front of them, and they failed to deliver. And the best scenes to me were the road ambush, the rescue op, the kidnapping, the execution, and the deaf local scene. So, with the thoughts heard, here's our final word. Sicario Day of the Soldado is a gritty action thriller that opts to follow the original's anti-heroes into their next battle. While the story, direction, and cinematography are nowhere close to the same immersive and thought-provoking level of its predecessor, the new team is able to replicate a similar style that, paired with its characters and action, ends up being a formidable sequel. This film has its faults, but in the end it's an entertaining story, so I'm going to give Sicario Day of the Soldado a 6.5. Thanks everyone for watching our review. Are you planning on seeing Sicario Day of the Soldado? Or if you've already seen it, do you have something to add? What did you think of the story? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Dylan Phillips, and this has been the Film Fanatic Review. If you liked this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Check out our latest Fanatic 5 video where we discuss the top Joaquin Phoenix roles. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And until next time, Fanatics, keep it real.